I don't know if you recall the other day, I did a video of Robert F. Kennedy. He was on CNN. He seems to be pretty happy about the interview. However, some things that he said got a lot of attention. He made the argument that Biden was more of a threat to democracy than Trump, which I think he's actually right. Seeing how you got censored by the Biden administration, you have to take them to court, and also you don't get Secret Service. Removing you from the ballot, I mean, all sorts of stuff that they've done to RFK that constitutes a bigger threat to democracy than anything Trump's done. Trump hasn't been proven guilty for any of the charges, but they're still saying that he's the bigger threat to democracy. Here's an interview with Chris Cuomo. I want to react to this, just give my take on what's being said, because I think we need to counter everything that's being said in the mainstream media, and be careful about what we're believing. Take a look at this interview.
The headlines read, Bobby Kennedy thinks Biden bigger threat than Trump. Is that fair? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here is to make the case for himself. I told you to be careful what you wish for. Here's one thing we know for sure. The Biden administration is not giving you security today, not after that interview. Do you want people to believe that you think that President Biden has done more objectionable things vis-a-vis our democracy than former President Trump did in the aftermath of the last election?
No, as you heard, Chris, what I said was that I can make this argument, and I didn't say definitively.
All right. You see how Chris Cuomo set that question up as if he already has his answer, as if the Biden crime family hasn't opened up a lot of shell companies and used his name to peddle influence. I mean, it's almost like this stuff never happened. Man, if you're paying attention to all this, these people just look like absolute liars. I'm sorry. They really do.
Definitively, whether I believed one or the other was more dangerous than democracy. I did say that I don't believe either of them are going to destroy democracy. Both sides are telling us the other guy is the end of the republic. But, they're both lame duck.
This is what I'm talking about, how he's walking it back. He's saying that neither one of these guys will destroy democracy. They silenced you. They don't even want any. Look, the Democrats don't even want you to have a choice about who to vote for. He silenced Robert F. Kennedy. He's a Democrat. He's a liberal. Okay? So this guy's been censored. They won't even give him Secret Service. And he's still making the case that neither one of these guys will be a threat to democracy or in the republic. Like you can't. There's nothing to see here. All right, guys. There's just nothing to see. What you see on a TV, it's not true. All right. Even if I tell you it's true, and then I come out and say it's not true. All right. Believe me, the last time I said it, whatever I said.
Presidents, they're going to be in there 4 years. Like their opponent, political opponents, are going to be announced 2 years later. There'll be a new Congress in 2 years later, and we have strong institutions in our country. We have judiciary, we have the press to some extent, we've got Congress, and you have the military. You've got a lot of institutions that.
We don't have a press. We don't have a fair press. Okay, we got political machines. Okay, it's like propaganda artists. That's what we have here. Okay. Nobody's really telling the truth in the mainstream media. That's why YouTube is exploding with content creators. There's a lot of political analysts, man. A lot of people digging in and doing their due diligence because you're just not getting it from the CIA. I mean, the mainstream media. It's just not happening. They don't give you all the truth. So you got to go digging for it. And you got to put the pieces together yourself, basically. We're on our own out here.
Are bulwarks against a tyrant coming in and taking over democracy. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're all being told each one is a threat because it's a way of using fear to force us into a binary choice where we're forced into the canal, into this channel that nobody wants to go to, where we either.
Okay, he's patting Chris on the head here. You know, we can clearly see, and this is not fear. I can't stand when they say, you know, Trump is fear mongering. You know, like all the fear mongering comes directly from the left, man. Like if you're watching this stuff unfold, if you just pay attention for the last few years, you know that. Okay, it ain't no fear mongering with Trump. It's just not. I'm gonna defend Trump. I am, because there's no fear mongering. We can see the inflation. We can see the businesses shutting down in the liberal cities, liberal states. Look at California. All their businesses are shutting down. This is not, you know, the mainstream media can't install fear in us. Like, we can see what it is. Okay. All right. A lot of things we can talk about when we talk about fear mongering. All right. When we're talking about the vaccines and all that stuff, you know, but on Trump's side, on the right here, we're not fear mongering. There's a MAGA republic that we want to keep going. We love our businesses. We don't want to see the prices skyrocket on our products. We want to put tariffs on China and anybody else who wants to send a virus over, allegedly. But ain't no fear mongering here. We can clearly see what's going on. So, you know,
We have to vote for the lesser of two evils, and nobody wants to do that. But it keeps them from, you know, it keeps.
this is that old line of voting for the lesser two evil. I can't stand when people say that either, guys. I mean, I'm gonna just, you know, pause it for a minute here. You know, the lesser of two evils. Look, this term, like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, you are either right or you're wrong. Okay, in your policy. In my opinion, the conservative policies happen to be the right policies for humanity. Literally, I believe that. I know that. Okay, the liberal ideology is doing everything to destroy our country. That's plain to see. We weren't bothering the transgender. We weren't bothering the homosexuals. We weren't bothering any of these people. Okay, but they are the fear mongers. They have these people deranged and terrified that we're coming to get them. We want to destroy the trans community. No, we just don't want you pushing that stuff on our kids. That's where you wake up the monster. Okay, when you keep showing these things to our kids, when you damage our economy and collapse our dollar, and then you get on TV and you tell us that it's not happening, and you know we want to change the definition of inflation. This is whack. Okay, it's very strange that they come out and tell you that these things are not happening when you can clearly see it. Okay, so that's why I would never vote for somebody like Robert F. Kennedy. I know a few people that said that they would vote for him just because of his stance on the vaccines and all that stuff, but I don't care about none of that. Like it's my body, my choice when it comes to the vaccines. I don't care what anybody else had to say. But that's why I would never vote for a candidate like Robert F. Kennedy, because I couldn't trust him. In my opinion, I don't think he can be trusted.
A lot of the public, from considering people like me that I have a much higher popularity rating than either of these candidates. So more people would rather see me in office presumably than either of them.
Like, I'm starting to think he's on drugs. You know, I'm just saying. You're not more popular than Trump. I'm sorry. Like, show us the rallies, okay? Like, are my eyes lying to me? Okay, you're more popular than Trump. Like, I went on Facebook today, and I just typed in Joe Biden. I typed in versus Trump. You know, I typed in both of their pages, and Trump is like, he got so many more subscribers, and I know it ain't got all to do with that, but it's overwhelming how many more people support Trump than Biden. And so I haven't gone on to Robert F. Kennedy, but I'm willing to bet that it ain't nowhere near what Trump's got. I mean, any social media platform you look at, I'm sorry, look at the rallies. Like, it's insane, man. Like, it's absolutely insane what he's talking about right now, because he's not more popular than Trump, and they know that. They know it, but maybe this is some kind of tactic or something like that. It's like you get on TV and you tell people something, and they the more you tell them, the more you think that they're going to believe you. But I think American people are so tired of that. It's not going to work.
But they are not going to vote for me because the media and this whole sort of cartel from both sides is telling them, oh, you have to choose between these two guys. The other guy is so scary. Now, the point I made last night, and the way I'm
sorry, Biden is actually scary. Okay, if somebody can come into office and do this much damage. Okay, we still got months to go. I'm like, man, business is not doing good. Okay. I really remember, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I really remember when Trump was in office and that we were doing great, okay? But when the government's in power, we got a governmental president right now. He's for the government. He's not for the people. I think most people realize that right now. He's just for the government. When the conservatives get in office, they're for the business owner. That's just how it goes. That's what I'm beginning to realize in my life. And I'm a business owner. I'm going to stay a business owner because I don't like taking orders from other people. That's my preference. But we got to go back and forth, government president versus the business owner president. Trump is a business owner president. That's why people resonate with him. He knows how to make the money. He knows how to decrease regulations for business, which is so important. I lived in Maryland. So much regulations on your business. They make it seem impossible. That's the government doing that. But the government needs businesses to stay afloat. So they better leave the businesses alone and let us do our thing. We create jobs. We keep the economy moving. So, yeah, man.
I'm very grateful, by the way, to Erin Burnett. As you know, CNN has not let me on for a live interview in a decade, and she did that. She was very, very courageous. She gave me a very fair interview. I was really dumbfounded about how fair it was. She pushed back on me a lot, and she doesn't agree with me, obviously, on stuff, but she actually let me speak, which was, I'm grateful for. When CNN Digital got it,
she just took I watched some of the interview, and every time, she'd ask him a question, she just started talking about Trump. These people just have to talk about Trump. Their ratings go up instantaneously. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. That when you look on MSNBC or CNN, you just go and look at their videos, 90% of them are about Trump, all day, every day. It's absolutely incredible. They don't talk about anything else. There's no cats stuck in the tree or, firefighters putting their lives on the line or, they don't have any real stories. It's just Trump all day. And people are getting tired of it, and they can see through the bull crap, man. So even when Robert F. Kennedy went up there, he ain't been up there in a decade, and all she could talk about is Trump. That's crazy. He can't even get his own interview. You're look, why don't y'all just call Trump up here, okay? You ain't... Oh, man.
They cut my quote, so it looked like I was making this definitive statement that Biden was more of a threat to democracy than Trump. And of course, I never said that, but that's a way of making me look crazy to liberals. Here's the point I didn't make, and I think it's a really important point, is that you have one president who allegedly hasn't been convicted, but allegedly was trying to overthrow an election illegally, which of course is horrible for democracy. You had another president who actually...
y'all need to go take a look at that Fonnie Willis case, okay, and see what's going on down in Georgia, because they're finding a lot of cool stuff down in there that happened with Roethlisberger, Yeah, so I heard some pretty interesting things about the elections in Georgia. Y'all know how this goes.
Has censored speech, and there's courts that have found that he censored speech and have enjoined him from doing it again. So there's actually a court judgment against President Biden, and one of the cases is Biden versus Kennedy, which is my case. The other is Murthy versus Biden, which was just heard, the arguments by the United States Supreme Court. What those cases show is that 37 hours after he took the oath of office, high White House officials were meeting with the social media companies, with YouTube, Facebook, Google, Instagram, and Twitter, and ordering them to censor President Biden's political opponents. And it was on, a lot of it was on health, public health, COVID, et cetera.
That's terrible, man. You know, they ordered them to do that. Man, that's just not right. That's how governments work, you know. Here's Rome, you know, they want to order some things. And, you know, that's the scary part. That's the part that's ruining democracy, you know, is that they can, you know, weaponize the Justice Department against their political opponents, which is very, very unconstitutional. It's not the way of the land. You don't do that. You know, it's just unfair. And I believe that a lot of Americans are waking up to see that, and it's backfiring on them because of the unfairness. And, you know, I sympathize with Robert F. Kennedy a bit. I would never vote for him. That's just, you know, my opinion, but I sympathize with him a bit because I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I think fair and square. Let's duke it out, you know. But this is not a sport. This involves the American people, and we're all here watching this, and you know, we're witnessing our future in the hands of a very few people that don't seem to want to do the right things. And here comes Trump. You know, we can see, we know his policies. We have experienced his presidency for 4 years, and to most of us, I believe, in my opinion, to most of America, it was pretty good. You know, I especially now seeing, you know, talking to people in the streets and just looking at my comments, and you know, a lot of people miss President Trump, and they realize that, man, a lot of people, a lot of liberals, a lot of Democrats, they realize that they have messed up, you know, doing that. Some never Trumpers, they're just never Trumpers, but a lot of people I've seen myself and witnessed online, different platforms and things, you know, really stand with President Trump right now because of the unfair treatment. And I mean, Robert F. Kennedy got a taste of it. I just did a video about it the other day. And, you know, it's very sad that it happened to him. It's very sad that, you know, he doesn't get a fair shot because he does have a popular name. He does deserve a chance and a shot at the presidency, equal fair shot at the presidency. Not to have someone, you know, block him out, but I think that they fear that he can't be controlled. Maybe they feel like, you know, that he you know, would side more with the Republicans, you know, and they certainly don't want to have that, you know. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this has been Yup, I Said It.